I'm Jay.
I'm Adrian.
And together we are the
Two Crazy Cat Ladies.
I'm gonna cut you.
I think I just peed.
Buckle up. We're back in the closet.
Welcome to another episode of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. Guys,
Do we have a treat for you tonight?
oh my God, we have such a treat, and we are, just to like warn you, we might be a little bit on a rant tonight. Very excited about it though. It's going to be very exciting because we are joined by
the one and only. And a lot of you guys don't even know who this beautiful woman is.
Yet.
The incredible Melissa Natanson.
Aw, come start it, you two. Jeez.
Wait, did I at least pronounce your name?
Knievel.
Knievel. It's actually Knievel hyphen
Natanson.
It's
a mouthful, so no biggie. But Knievel's way more fun because it's like we were talking earlier. I got all the crazy talk when I was growing up because I was a crazy Knievel, and you're the Crazy Cat Ladies. It was meant to be.
It's meant. But you're a bona fide Knievel. You are literally Jay thought Evil Knievel was a saying that because she watched My Girl, and and she thought like, "Oh, you're a real Evil Knievel." It was like a little thing that you said. She didn't know Evil Knievel was a real dude,
and happens to be like
are really
your
related
uncle.
to him.
Yeah. He's my I think he's my great my dad's great uncle. I guess that makes him my great. And it was like I was telling you earlier. So when I was a kid, we had little dirt bikes, and then one day I was riding around, and I crashed, and I fell off, and I hit my head. My helmet cracked, and my mom was like, "That's it, we're done with the motorbikes. Let's get out of here." So,
and you stayed out.
And now I'm a pet health coach, so I guess it was not my vein in life to be jumping motorcycles, but I am a little crazy. I've got this like, I don't know. Is it an adrenaline junkie? Is that what it is? Yeah. I've calmed it.
You don't have the little adrenaline to like break every bone in your body. That's not in you.
Not anymore. I used to, but I mean, maybe it's crazy to be in the animal industry now because it's no joke. I mean, we're knocking away every day. We're breaking down walls.
That's true.
Punching through paradigms. I mean, maybe that's the adrenaline rush now.
Okay, girl.
Let's
go there. So what rock like?
Hold on. You have such an extraordinary background. I love you gave us a little peek into your childhood, but you grew up on a farm. You had an incredible career as a journalist. Then you became a pet health coach.
Yeah.
With Legacy Bio. Can you kind of explain how this all came to be?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, little farm girl from northeastern Colorado, and loved growing up on a big farm and ranch, but I didn't know at the time how wonderful and nurturing it was to grow up that way. And all I wanted to do was get out and see the world, and I needed to go somewhere else. So in the middle of college, I took off and I moved to Germany. I was in international relations, and I went to school with some pretty crazy people like the Prince of Saudi Arabia and all sorts of crazy stuff. And I thought I wanted to do international journalism until I realized I didn't want to come to work every day with a suitcase ready to go somewhere in a war zone. So I changed it and started doing things locally. I worked for several NBC affiliates, and in the midst of all that, my mom got diagnosed with a rare GI cancer, and it was really, really brutal. So it was one of those life moments when you're like, does talking about what's going on in the world to everybody else really matter, or do I need to concentrate on what matters most? And there's a reason I'm talking about this, because that was the Canon event where I started realizing there's got to be more to medicine, and there's got to be more to vet med too. It eventually translated. So really started looking into the microbiome, really started studying human holistic health. And that's kind of where I started out. So when my little creatures got sick, I started applying what I learned in human holistic health to them. And lo and behold, a lot of it worked after I had gotten the like constant, we got to do steroids and antibiotics and they're going to be on medications for the rest of their life. And I just couldn't accept it. So I found a better way. So I've kind of been at this chipping away for about 10 years. And yeah, a year and a half ago, I became certified as a holistic pet health coach officially. Thank you. Even though I've been doing it. And now, even though this is kitties, I have had kitties literally my entire life. I was the farm girl that was like plucking all the little kittens. I mean, we had so many cats running around and, mama would like abandon one and I'd go pick it up and bottle feed it and all the things. I mean, all the things. I had so many kittens in the house when I was a kid. I drove my parents crazy.
I love it. You're a crazy cat lady before you even knew it.
Yep.
It was. I was a crazy cat lady long before I was a dog mom too. I mean, I love them both. But so often the story is with me and Darla. That's my doggie who has a spectacular story. But I am at heart a cat lady.
Yes, you
are.
I
love it. I love it. And tonight is going to be really fun. I mean, this is an episode that we're really excited to do specifically with you because your brain is incredibly beautiful.
And you're so articulate, and that's wonderful. And just to say off the bat, 6 minutes in, that our subject is cocktails and cat food lies. Mocktails and cat food lies.
Never.
Because we're all drinking mocktails.
Cheers. Cheers.
That's my meowjito.
That was good. Tell us a little bit. Okay, before we jump into, or go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so at what point of this journey, so you're learning holistic health because of the human industry, right? Because of human, you're learning a lot about medicine and what you don't want and don't need. Apply it to your dogs and cats. But at what point did you learn about the pet food industry specifically?
Here we go. Okay, so since this is about cats today, we're gonna talk about one of my kitties named Whip. He's not in here right now, and I might have to let her out because I warned you. I'm like, she's gonna be in or be out. My other cat's in here, and she's calling at the door. Come here. Hey, hush. Like, let's just be part of this, and so we can talk about it. So, my cat Whip was a rescue. All of my animals were rescues and got him. And I did what everybody does because you don't know what you don't know until you know different. And I thought I was feeding him a quality kibble diet. And he was pretty sick when he was in the shelter. So we did the standard protocol, which is let's do steroids, let's do antibiotics, let's do all of the things. And all of that led to an absolute IBD intestinal microbiome nightmare meltdown, to put it nicely. And what I was feeding him just wasn't, it was adding to his inflammation. So one day I came home and Whippy's literally laying on the ground, and you two know better than anyone. It takes a lot to take a cat to just lay there and really not want to move or eat or anything. I rushed him to the ER. And he had a massively inflamed bowel. And the vet actually said, I've never seen one quite so bad. I don't know if he's going to make it. Wait, what? He's not going to make it because his bowel is that inflamed? Because he's just been eating normal cat food and doing the things, these things build up. I think this is what the purpose of our conversation. So many people don't know. These things accumulate over the years and then bam, it can hit you like a lead balloon.
Yep.
Right.
So, right then I thought, okay, what am I missing here? There's got to be more than just the bags in the cat food store or the pet food store for me to choose from. And I really started looking into it, changed his diet. I had to fight with them, for a little while, as you also understand with your transition with food, because they were addicted to the crunchies.
Right.
And we had to make peace with the fresh food because we switched them over to fresh and eventually switched to raw, and they made peace with it. And is the peace worth it?
Oh,
yes, it is.
Yeah.
It took a little while to broker that treaty with them, but
it does, doesn't it? Yeah. That's like our theme for 2025 is like go easy on yourself. but be patient and persistent, because you will be able to, if you are patient and persistent, then you will be able to transition your cat to a better diet. But it takes a lot longer than our dogs, right? Like
it can. I mean, I think everyone here thinking that it's going to be a terrible challenge. Like when we transitioned Scotch, it took like a week and a half.
It probably would have taken one meal,
right?
But we did it.
But
slowly.
With many cats, especially our kibble addicts, you understand the challenge.
Yeah. I mean, it can be a challenge. And Jay, I love your tidbit of information on this, because I think it's so important for people to know that some of the additives in those big prescription diets, what do they do?
Right. They physically make them addicted. Yeah. Physically. Yeah.
It's like the MSG that they put in human food. It has that same.
It is. It's a multi-million, if not billion-dollar industry that is created to create chemical, to put together chemicals that make cats and dogs, but it works best with cats, addicted to their dry kibble, and then they spray that stuff on it, and it's chemicals, guys. It's chemicals. We're not talking, well, they're just spraying something that smells really good or that tastes, but is completely safe. No, that buildup over time of those chemicals and the crap that they put in to the overwhelming majority of these commercially prepared, ultra processed foods are made for your cats to be addicted. Adrian saw a study. She was talking about it this week in a CatCon. That talked about,
that cat's brains and humans' brains have similar sections, right? And when they give a cat kibble, it lights up the same parts of the brain that light up when you give a heroin addict heroin.
A human.
So a human, right?
Obviously.
So it really does help on the compassion scale for us humans.
Right.
It's not that your cat's just being a
asshole.
Right. I can't think of another.
I mean, the contradiction is real. It's real.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, and they like that. I remember one time we had a little Whippy, that's the cat I was talking about. He hadn't had kibble in 10 years, and I had a medical foster here, and I was trying to be like, okay, we're going to get her off this food, but she had kibble with her, and I was like, all right, for the short time, you get this. That cat found that bag and ripped it open and was like, I'm an addict 10 years later, but it's not like he doesn't love his food now. Like, he chomps down on his raw food, like the little tiger that he is. Right. And it's all good. But I mean, there's something that clicked in his brain that was like, wow.
Yep. It's that same thing. So let me ask you real quick, because it sounds like Whip was one of your greatest teachers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did Whip have a nay-nay?
Oh. Okay. You too. I'll drink to that. Okay.
Watching nay-nay.
We need the song now. No, but I do have a story for you. He doesn't have a nay-nay, but he does know Morse code. Remember how we were talking about Pika? I'm going to call it Pika. If it's supposed to be Pika, I'm sorry, y'all.
I think banana
come after me. But I always say Pika.
Did you hear her?
No.
You said you're going to go with Pika. Some people call it Pika, and she said it's banana.
Right.
No, it's tomato.
Yeah.
Tomato, tomato. I'm really good with that. Anyway.
So this is TMI, but not really. I'm just telling personal stories. So I change my shower curtain a lot. I'm just weird about that. Like, I want the shower curtain to be fresh, and it's usually like a fabric one that I can wash if I need to, because heaven forbid I have a plastic shower curtain liner, because y'all know what happens, and if you know, and years ago, I learned I couldn't have a plastic shower curtain with a Pika cat. Well, I was switching it. Oh, good Lord. That was almost a cat catastrophe.
Okay. That was great. Was great.
Hey,
for those that are just listening and not watching, our cat, once again, this has happened several times in this podcast, but once again, we had a cat jump on our heads. Yeah, there you go. Okay, continue.
So anyways, I had to put the plastic shower curtain up, and we haven't had a plastic shower curtain in like 10 years. So I thought, again, he's forgotten that he has an addiction to shower curtains because he's a Pika cat. And no, I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, what the hell is that sound?
Oh, yeah.
I had gone in there. He had chomped Morse code across the entire shower curtain. I mean, in a straight line, just all the way down.
Don't.
Like, what are we trying to communicate? Little Morse code, kitty teeth across the whole thing.
Zorro does that with concrete, or not concrete. Cardboard boxes.
Yeah, he's like a little stapler. He just goes all the way down.
All the way around.
Or concrete.
Yeah.
Well, what is wrong with us? It's these mocktails.
Someday we're going to solve this. I mean, I think there's a microbiome thing, but someday we're going to solve this.
Just so everyone here knows.
Maybe we should tease that.
Well, yeah, Melissa will be back because there is some really exciting news coming to the cat world soon.
Yes, and we're going to be doing as much research as possible.
Oh my God, it's going to be
as am I. It's like my thing I dig into every day. It's pretty remarkable. The more we learn about how much the microbiome matters. I'm going to say it that way. That's like my new slogan. The microbiome matters because, especially in cats, it makes such a big difference in everything we're doing. And I mean, we're here to have fun today, but we can have fun and talk about the statistics at the same time because, I mean, chronic IBD in cats, with 50% of cats having chronic IBD and diarrhea, I mean, that's insane. Obesity and diabetes, that's all linked to the food, what we're talking about today. I mean, what was it? 60% of cats are overweight?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Wait, but there's a brand that just came out. I saw the commercial for this. I thought it was so great. They now make a healthy weight kibble.
Oh my!
I'm not going to say the brand, but I'm sure everyone else has seen those too.
I'm sure every brand has jumped on board or will, at least for a healthy way. I mean,
it's just such an oxymoron.
It really is, right? Let's talk more about that and these buzzwords, right? Like the marketing, the deceptive, very deceptive marketing that the pet food companies do, and this is for cats and dogs. But like specifically for cats, like when you walk into a pet store, like a big box pet store, and you go through, we've done this several times and filmed ourselves. People want to kick us out, but we're like,
So this one's the hairball formula. This one's the senior cat formula. This one's the indoor cat formula. This one's the right. Like there are so many different formulas. I'm sure there's a
urinary formula. There's a kitten formula. There's a. I mean, like literally.
But when you flip the bag over and you look at the ingredients, let's dive into what are some of your like top red flag biggest lies or misleading tactics that are used for our cat's food?
Well, I mean, those are you listed the big ones. My other one is KD formulas, which is kidney disease formulas. That's one of my biggest things because I specialize in GI health and kidney health in both cats and dogs. So probably one of my biggest things is when it comes to kidney disease and cat food, because the automatic recommendation is feed low protein. And I know I'll probably have the vets come after me, but let me tell you why we don't do that until the very, very end, because there's actually a good chance that your kitty with the right food and the right support can live a really long time with a kidney disease diagnosis. Because it may not even be kidney disease. It may be kidney stress as a result of there being gut dysbiosis. We can go into that more later, which is also linked back to what is it? The food that they eat. So, oh my God, I almost smelled my cocktail. Okay. And I didn't even have a cat involved. So, these low protein prescription that shall not be named kibble, I will give the hints if you want, are lower protein. But what do they make up the calories for? So yes, generally they are, they're AFCO approved, and that's the veterinary board or the food board for the animals. But they're severely lacking in protein. And we have to go back to the fact that cats are obligate carnivores. They have zero necessity for carbohydrates. So if you think about what a kitty would eat in the wild, if they were going to catch a mouse or a squirrel or whatever, Are they going to have some plant matter? Yeah, absolutely. They're going to get the pre-digested contents of the stomach of the prey that they're eating. So we don't want the diet to be completely devoid of plant matter. They need some things. And because also the microbes in the gut love a little plant matter.
Yeah.
But if we're feeding a low protein diet, then the cat is not getting the amino acids that it needs to have a chance to repair the kidney damage or have a chance for their gut to repair. And why this is so important is so many kitties have IBD, so many kitties have small bowel inflammation. And guess what? This can lead to a couple of things. Kidney disease, that's one of them. I mean, other than the dehydrated food, we can talk about that next. Because the small bowel is what's absorbing all the nutrients. And if the small bowel is not working right, then there's extra uremic toxins. There's all sorts of things that the kidney bears the brunt of because the small bowel is not doing its job. So then the small bowel can't repair if we don't have enough protein and amino acids in the diet to keep the GI system going good. So, it's 6 of one, a half a dozen of the other that are hitting back and forth on each other. And so high protein, maybe not necessarily, but a fresh food diet with normal protein is going to give your kitty the best chance at not having GI issues and not having kidney issues.
Well, and let's talk about the quality of ingredients in the majority of these ultra processed kibble diets, 2KD diets, prescription diets, just as a whole, or like even their non-prescription diets, right?
Yeah.
Sure. If you are literally taking roadkill off the street and putting it through 4D meats, we'll just say 4D meats, right? And my dad worked in a rendering plant, and they got everything from the roadkill on the streets of Tennessee. We all knew that. Everybody in our town knew that. But you put it through this processing thing, which who knows what all went through that. My dad has some stories of the things that went through that, including plastic tarps, scissors, things like that. It is processed. It is, powdered up, processed at like this extraordinarily, at least 400 degrees, and then put into the food. Sure. None of us would have our kidneys as a whole any mammal will not have an easy time flushing through low quality ingredients.
Right.
But a high quality protein, the body is going to take so much better. As obligate carnivores for our cats, the body is going to be able to process so much better. It's going to be able to flush through things so much better. And those kidneys are going to be protected if we can switch them to we can switch them to a fresh food diet.
You're so right, Jay. And pet parents, when you see meat meal on one of your cat food bags, it could have come from any of those 4D part components that Jay was just talking about. It needs to specifically state the actual protein. So it will say chicken heart, chicken thigh, turkey heart, turkey livers, not meat meal. Meat meal equals mystery meat. Just remember that. Meat meal equals mystery meat, and we don't know what the heck it is in it. And I think we were starting to get into it before, and then I went off on my kidney disease diatribe because I do that thing. I got to get back on track here. But it's with kidney disease, they're adding the grains and they're adding the potatoes. The stomach in a kitty is like, what's this? Who are you? I don't know what to do with you. The GI system is like, oh, these are some carbohydrates, but I'm not getting what I need. I don't know what to do with this because here's another thing that we don't talk about a lot is how cats were biologically designed to digest food. They don't make amylase. Amylase is needed to break down carbohydrates. They don't make it. They don't make it in their mouths. And so they do have some ability via the pancreas now, but that adds to the diabetes load. It adds to inflammation in the GI system because it can lead to leaky gut because the gut doesn't know what to do with it. So when we replace the amino acids in meat with something like corn or a grain or a potato, a cat's body can't assimilate it. So they can be overfed and under nutrients all the time. I see it all the time. These fat kitties, these are little carb addict kitties. These are little diabetes kitties. I used to say, lean kitties are healthy kitties. Chunky kitties are diabetes kitties. Diabetes waiting to happen. I'm not saying that to scare everybody, but if you got a little chunk, time to cut the carbs. It has nothing to do with the amount they eat, in my opinion, because my cats eat a ton, but they don't have any carbs, and they're perfect weight. They're perfect weight.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then here we are, we're all sitting here as cat parents making fun. There's memes everywhere. Just like, it's just a thing. Your cat's going to throw up. Your cat's going to get hairballs. Your cat is like, it happens all the time. You step in it on a daily basis. Like it's a thing, right? Like that's what everybody says is you just expect if you're going to have a cat that's what happens. And we get it because back when we fed kibble, low quality, whatever kibble, that is what we saw every day too. So if it were, if we had social media back in that day and we would see these memes, we would be like, oh, totally. This is it. Right. But it's not a thing. The thing is exactly what you said. We're putting we're feeding them ingredients that their bodies are not created to digest. And since it's not created to digest, what does it do? It's basically gonna get stuck in there. And then when they're grooming themselves or when their body just says, can you please clean me out? They're throwing up. They're throwing up a hairball or they're throwing up their food because the body isn't made to digest these types of ingredients. So we have to do better.
So in the pet food industry, though, there's a lot of like buzzwords, especially that grain free. That's the big one, right? Yeah. Grain free, all natural, premium,
real meat.
Yeah, real meat. What do those words mean to you, and what should we as cat parents be looking for? What are the red flags for you on those? What does grain free mean to you?
So grain free just means that they've replaced the grains and added a different carbohydrate like a potato or a sweet potato.
Unfortunately, that is the overwhelming majority of the case. Yes.
Meat should always be the number one ingredient.
Yes.
And let me tell you my other red flag.
Okay.
If you were to Google, if you get on, what do I feed my cat? What's the best cat food? I can almost guarantee you that the top 5 things that come up, they're not the highest quality food. They're the ones that spent the most money on their marketing.
Correct.
They got the top slot, not the top food. And two crazy cat ladies have some great suggestions. I do as well. It's not as hard to feed fresh food as you think. But so often, like you always say, it's a $1 billion industry, these foods. But when you see these big marketing things like the all natural and grain free, blah, blah, they're the buzzwords. They're exactly what you're saying, that they're the buzzwords. And so here's the bottom line. We got to break through the buzz and we got to get to the actual ingredients. And I feel like if there's more than 7 ingredients in there, it's a no-go. It's a rule of thumb for me.
Right.
Well, and 7 ingredients in the food?
Yeah.
But let's get back to though the meat as the first ingredient, right?
Yeah.
Because wasn't that a thing? So many years ago, like when we started as cat parents 20 years ago or something, you would never see a bag of cat food that if you read the ingredients, which we did not at that time, but when we went back and started, when we knew better and started reading them, you didn't see meat as the first ingredient of any of those foods, right?
Chicken byproduct.
Then it became a thing. Right? So consumers started demanding this. Education started happening little by little, trickling like it is today, still trickling. But then it was like meat needs to be the first ingredient. And now you hear all of these pet food companies, meat is the first ingredient, meat is the first ingredient, meat is the first ingredient. But what they don't tell you, and there's just, it's just like, it's an industry that perturbs me in so many ways. But what they don't tell you is that you can say you have chicken as the first ingredient, right? Say you have beef as the first ingredient, but the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th ingredient are carbs, starch, sugar, like potatoes, white rice, grains, whatever. Right. What they don't tell you is that when a manufacturer is creating a pet food, they are able to list those ingredients based on weight of the wet raw material. So they have a whole chicken and they weigh it. and it weighs more than that dried rice or that, dried grains. It weighs more. So they're able to put it as that first ingredient. But once they cook it to 400 plus degrees, that chicken is dehydrated so much that it's not like they're weighing the powder after they create this stupid meat powder, right? They're weighing the wet meat, the dead animal, and then putting it in there. And then it is actually way less on the list. And you're really, if your second ingredient is potatoes, rice, grain, any kind of carb or starch, that's the main thing that you're feeding in a dry kibble.
Yeah. Such a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because they can cut and splice those ingredients to make it look better on the label. Yep. So, but I would also venture to say that I think that the majority of the time that happens is in kibble. I think when we're finding a reputable fresh food company, when it's coming fresh, they've got to stick to what it's all fresh. So they're not going through the process.
Right. They're not processing it. So it's,
which is the big deal. I mean, the processing is really, what gets these kitties at the end of the day. And I was just thinking about like when I was growing up, like my kibble fed cats, none of them lived past 8. I mean, I did grow up on a farm and there was usually something natural that took them out. But I remember the vets telling me then, like I had my 7-year-old kitty then, he something happened to him. He got in a far accident and he ruptured his diaphragm, and I had to like beg and plead with my dad to like get the surgery, which was a big deal a really long time ago. And the vet was pretty much like, well, he's 7 years old, like he's nearing the end of his life, and now I've got 2 16-year-old cats that run around like kittens. Whip, the Morse code kitty, is running up and down his new cat tree and jumps and plays around like zero issues. He's going to live till he's 30. And so I love it that we're talking about these cat food lies. I'm glad that we're getting it out there. I wish I would have known it sooner, because there is absolute power in feeding them a real food diet and breaking through some of these myths and seeing this. And I think another one that I hear all the time is, but my vet said. And I know that we feel the same about vets. We love them. They're amazing. We need them. But all day long, you two and me, we're looking at these pet food labels. We're dealing with these kitties. We're figuring out what they need to be eating. And it's not what's in the dang bag at the vet's office.
Right.
True. I think that's a big hurdle for a lot of people. I see a comment here, and I want to ask you your opinion on this. What's an alternative? Shadan, I'm slaughtering your name. I apologize. What is an alternative to hydrolyzed diet, prescribed hydrolyzed protein prescription diet for a cat with food allergies?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to talk about gut issues, this is where, cat parents really find themselves between a rock and a hard place, right? They say, well, this is a food allergy, so
let's take them off of.
Let's use hydrolyzed proteins.
Yeah.
What say you?
What would you do? Oh boy, are we ready for this?
Let's go.
Okay, strap in. Here we go. Okay, so this is my favorite thing to talk about. All right, so can you tell us how to say your name in the chat, because I don't want to mess it up, because it really Shadan, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, Shadan, great question. Thank you so much for asking, because this is a big deal. More often than not, when we have a cat that has food allergies, then the vets are like, okay, hydrolyzed diet, because what the hydrolyzed protein does is it basically is like, it's like in Harry Potter, and you can put it on the invisibility cloak. It makes the food invisible to the immune system, but it only works in the short term. I mean, it's only really kicking the can down the road, because behind making that protein invisible so that if there is a food allergy, the immune system can't recognize it, the inflammation is growing. So here's how that works. When a cat has food allergies, it is almost always linked to gut dysbiosis. And dysbiosis is just a fancy way of saying a microbiome imbalance. And so we really have to see what's at the basis of that. Hydrolyzed food does nothing to feed the microbiome. So the microbiome selects for the type of food that your cat's eating. And we found through studies that when a cat is on a whole fresh food diet, there's more diversity present. So there's more diversity in the microbe. And it's not necessarily about having one bacteria in the gut that's better than others. It's about the diversity and how they work together. So when we have that diversity present and the microbiome is happy, then it prevents something that we call leaky gut. So when a cat is on a diet that the gut doesn't recognize and the body doesn't recognize, like we were talking about earlier, then the tight junctions in the intestinal wall, there's these tight junctions in there. They can start to loosen up. And then all of a sudden, food particles can start to slip through the intestinal wall undigested. They go into the bloodstream. And then the immune system is like, whoa, 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 wait. I don't know what this is. I don't recognize this. And then the body mounts an immune response against that particular food. So that's how food allergies work. It's really interesting. They say that 70 to 90% of the immune system lies in the gut. Here's why. It's because of something called GALT. And that's short for gut-associated lymphoid tissue. And there's all these immune cells that lie on the inside of your kitty's intestines that are kind of like constantly surveying what's coming in. So it's like, chicken, good. Pathogen, nope, you're out. We can't have you getting through. But what starts to happen when we have leaky gut is it confuses GALT. GALT gets totally overwhelmed. So again, think of GALT like the security system. Sorry. The drink is, no, I'm kidding. It's a mocktail. See how excited I get about this? I think it's actually the smoke. I can see it starting to come in, but it's okay. I'm totally. I'll get back to this.
Send good vibes. The fire is about 15 miles away from her, so send good vibes. But it's very smoky
in California.
Okay. Sorry about that. Now I'm back after my thing. So getting back to that, talking about the GALT and the immune system. So what happens in food allergies is the immune system gets confused. It's not necessarily that your cat has a food allergy. A true food allergy is really rare, actually. And that's something totally different. But what happens is what we call food intolerances. And that's because the immune system gets confused and starts firing away at things that normally shouldn't be a problem, like a salmon or a chicken or a turkey or a beef. And then what can happen is, say the immune system starts firing off at chicken. Well, if the kitty eats beef with it, lots of times the immune system will be like, oh, bad, beef, you're bad too. So there's where these, hydrolyzed diets come in, because if we just hide the type of protein from the immune system all the way around, we think we've solved the problem, but it's only temporary, because behind that, another layer behind that, the immune system, the gut, the cells, we're talking about cellular energy, metabolites in the gut, how ATP is being produced so that your cat can continue living. We're not getting anywhere with that. It's just continuing to build the inflammation, and it just kicks the can down the road. So I hope that was a good explanation. Shadana, did that help you?
Yeah, but what does that actually do for an obligate carnivore? Because you did say something like this.
And what's a good alternative? What do you do?
But you'll stop and you'll see you'll see like short term, right? Short term. So we've talked to so many holistic veterinarians or integrative veterinarians who have said live here on our podcast, said a prescription diet should be a prescription, right? You're not prescribed something long term. You're prescribed something that if it works, then it should work, and then you stop it and you move on to something else. Whereas in the vet field, because they're not nutritionists, and I really wish that we would just stop relying on our veterinarians to give us nutritional advice, because they don't have good nutritional advice, or that's not who
most don't.
The most, right? But they're giving us, they're prescribing these cats something that they're saying they need to be on for the rest of their lives. A urinary diet, we see it all the time, a kidney diet, these hydrolyzed protein diets. And then because, Melissa, this weekend we were bombarded we were at CatCon, which is the biggest cat convention in the world. Yeah. There was 15,000 people there, and our booth was saturated every second, every day. Talk, everybody's saying. And I can't tell you how many people I talked to that said, well, my one cat has to be on a prescription diet, but I have 6. So of course now they all have to be on a prescription diet, or they're all going to, right? So now all the cats are eating this food that's not even healthy for the cat that had the problem, and they should not be on it long term. Oh, well, yeah. I talked to you.
So I guess, I mean, you're right. And such a good point. I didn't really answer the question. So the question is, what should I do? You're saying prescribed. There's nothing prescription in them. That's just what they like to say. But really at the core of it is a microbiome imbalance. So we want to get this microbiome back on track with 2 things. We want FMT. I'm with Legacy Biome. FMT is something that we're coming out with for cats. It's really pretty amazing because it's taking the optimal microbiome from a donor kitty and putting it in a happy little capsule that you can pop into your kitty. It goes down, opens in the small bowel, and it is like a reset for the entire microbiome. And really, we are finding fantastic results with that because that is a fast track to getting the microbiome on balance, healing that leaky gut, getting those junctions to hook back together. And with that new microbiome come all of the perks that are with it. So we've got short chain fatty acid producing bacteria. What does short chain fatty acids do? They lower inflammation. They help the gut repair. They help the entire immune system get back on track and not be confused anymore, so that if the cat eats a food that it was previously allergic to, that no longer happens. That's why it's so exciting to have something like FMT that's really a fast track. There are some spore forming probiotics that can be great as well. There's one that I like called Megaspore. I can drop that in the comments, that help your kitty start rebuilding their own microbiome. Does it take a little more time? Yes. But then after that, I would recommend starting with single protein, fresh food diets and getting novel protein. Rabbit and duck have been 2 of my favorites that I really go to a lot. I know a lot of people are like, poultry. I've never had an issue with duck. I have to say that. I think the poultry thing has been something for the vet industry for a long time, because chicken can be problematic, depending on how it is. But rabbit, duck, venison. I pulled out some venison for my cats a couple weeks ago. They loved it. I was so surprised. I had it for Darla, and I was like, "Here, you want to try some?"
Yep.
Venison. Oh, their favorites. I mean, they hogged it down. So I would start with that. And it doesn't have to be hard. It just needs to be really, really a simple diet. The fewer ingredients, the better. I think when there is allergies going on, and start working on getting the microbiome rebuilt, because that's really important. And that's the way through it. There is a way through. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is excellent. Also, a reminder that she is a holistic pet health coach. Link is in the description if you wanted to reach out and help your friend. I see that it's a friend that's going through that.
Yes, Laura, you're right. Rabbit and duck are cooling proteins and TCVM, so they can help get rid of those allergies.
I love that.
So back to some of the bigger lies in the cat food industry. I think what are some red flag ingredients for the 101er here that's just like, I haven't even looked at the ingredients on this bag. What are some big ones that you're like, ooh, this is out? And I'm talking dry food, wet food, processed food.
Just processed food in general.
What are some red flag ingredients?
Well, I mean, without getting too specific to make it hard on pet parents, here's a red flag for me when they have a list that's 2 inches long of all the vitamins in it.
Yeah.
Kitty parents. I mean, there'll be L-methionine, there'll be synthetic forms of zinc, there'll be synthetic forms of carnitine, there'll be synthetic forms of B vitamins. You'll see it all on there. Those may be in there, and they could have been just fine going in. But they're synthetic. And once they get high pressure processed, the body doesn't really know what to do with them. And again, the immune system, the gut, The synthetic vitamins are one of these things that can confuse the immune system once again, that can lead to some of these allergies. So if the vitamin list is an inch long, that would be a red flag to double check. Another thing which we talked about before, the meat meal, any kind of byproduct, any kind of bone byproduct or a rendered anything. I think they can't use that word anymore, so they don't say that. So they just say byproduct on there. But the grains are a big one. And what else am I missing here? I'm trying to think. Those are always my big ones. And mostly because I stick to my standard of if it's got more than 7 ingredients, it's probably not an appropriate food. Because all of those synthetic vitamins, they should be able to get from meat or organs that are added to high quality cat food diets. Because guess what, everyone? Organs are like multivitamins for cats.
Yeah.
Has all the taurine that they need and the carnitine, all those great stuff. The liver's got all the vitamin A, all the good stuff. The B vitamins come from, once again, organs. And if those are in there, they are in a biologically appropriate, bioavailable form that your cat can actually use, and their cells will love you for it.
Yes. I love that you brought up organ meats, because this is something that we haven't talked about in a while, but I think for the 101er, the people that are like, I have a lot of cats, I'm on a strict budget, dry food is all they'll eat, or dry food is all I can afford right now. And so that's what I'm feeding, but I still love them and I still want them to live as long as possible. Organ meat is a great treat, right? Like get rid of those temptations. Now you're really feeding death, right? Right. Like get rid of those treats and replace that with some organ meat. Like give them, in addition to their process, whatever it is that you can afford, give them some organ meat. Try giving your cat some, even if it's a freeze dried, or you have to cook it a little bit, or you have to dehydrate it, or whatever you have to do to get them to eat it. Those are superfoods for our cats, right? Like it's what they're made to eat. So organ meat is a great addition for, like, I want to get my cat on a better diet. I don't know where to start, or I'm not there yet, or I don't have the budget and I'm going to do it one day, but I don't know where to start. Start with some organ meat. Like use that as a treat.
Yeah. Or this is my hack. This is like my little hack that I tell all the kitty parents, because my cats love them. Maybe they don't all, but I've not had very many cats that have turned down a sardine. And no salt added sardines. Like here in California, we can get them at Trader Joe's. They're no salt added. They're the entire sardine.
Yes.
Is there bones in them? Yes. Are they soft? Yes. Can your cat crunch through them? Absolutely. And guess what? That is the complete nutritional profile that your cat needs. It includes the organs, it includes the bones, it includes the omega-3s, it includes the protein, it includes the amino acids. Little sardine, I do that a couple days a week here at our house. Give the sardine as the omega-3. As much as I love omega-3s, when we're getting them right from the source, it's always the best option.
Yes.
Little seafood is always a good idea. I know there's a lot of talk about don't do tuna and it changes the pH. And
Well,
anyway.
You think about fish, you think about like the bigger fish, the more contaminated they are, right? Yeah. So when we're looking at a tuna and a salmon and those things, they're going to have more of those heavy metals in them because they're eating the smaller fish and eating right. But when we get to these smaller fish like sardines, you're right. That's it's a great superfood, and it's a win for every cat, right? Like, I mean, I want to say every cat. I'm sure there's a cat out there that turns their nose. There's always an exception to the rule when it comes to the cat world, but the majority of cats, you give them a sardine and they're going to be like, oh my God, thank you. Sardines in water. We say,
sardines in water. Yeah. Not oil. I know my little pumpkins love them. So that's like their special treat. And I do the same thing. Because sometimes I can tell they still really want a little crunchy. I'll take the freeze dried organ meat and I'll sprinkle a little bit of that on top of their raw. And when I call it the sprinkles. And sometimes if I put the food down without the sprinkles, they'll just go. And they wait. And so, if my husband feeds or something, I'm like, did you put sprinkles on it? Like they're little kids. Did you put the sprinkles on it? Nope. And it's like, no, get the dang sprinkles on there. And it's, they like it. They like it.
Our cats are in love with green juju. So,
yeah, mine are too.
but we've got 5 cats and 5 different flavors, and some of them switch up. Like Zorro is bison through and through. He wants it on his meal every day.
Yeah,
but then we've got the one that like she usually likes beef, but then sometimes she'll turn her nose up because she wants bison, or she wants duck, or she wants rabbit, or so we all have like we have every mealtime. We should film this sometime and just show. We have like all the green juju bags out, and then we're getting our crunchies to put the little sprinkles on top for each meal. Yeah.
Oh, so you do the sprinkles too?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. We were really meant to do this together. We really will. Like, we already think alike. All the crazies together.
Yes, we have to stick together.
But in the best way. See, I'm like, oh gosh, my cats are so spoiled. I put crunchies on there and the sprinkles. And I do agree. I rotate through the green juju too. So that's funny. I just tried whip. I switched him to, what did I get? I think I got Goodness Gracious. Now that's got a decent amount of plant matter in it. But again, feeding his microbiome. There's no grains in it. It's some green leafies and a little bit of pumpkin. Pumpkin is just fine for kitties. It can be great for hairballs, especially if you add a little coconut oil to that and then slicker on down. And he is the picky pants. This is the best thing, sliced bread for humans for him. He devoured it. He thought it was great. And the other little one that was in here, she stuck her nose up, turned around, about face, and didn't look at it again. Now, and she's like, because she's a rabbit. She's a rabbit gal. She loves her rabbit. So I also get rabbit from Viva Raw. If anybody needs a few suggestions, I know I see some people asking, what are the suggestions?
I want to put a shout out to people and to people that don't realize this is something that exists. The truthaboutpetfood.com not only is an incredible resource for keeping up with recalls, for keeping up with regulatory terms, for realizing
showing up at every AFCO meeting.
So really exposing the truth about pet food. She also comes out with a list. Susan Thixton is the creator of truthaboutpetfood.com. She comes out with a list every year. We know some good brands that may not be on the list, that we have done our own vetting with. But Susan Thixton's
she does all kinds of vetting.
Is extraordinary
and accepts no money from companies. Like, they don't get to buy their way into her list. They don't get to buy anything. They have to do a lot of work to get on her list,
to show their sourcing, to show the quality, to show their manufacturing.
She does all that work because she realizes that us as cat parents, like, how could we even know these things? Like, if chicken's the first ingredient, then that's good. But I had no idea that I should have read the second, third, fourth, fifth, or that there might be something fairly toxic like carrageenan later on in the list.
And like the guar gums, and I guess we didn't get into all those things.
Yeah, but same, right? So it's like it can be a difficult thing. She does that research for us, and then she accepts donations for her list every year.
Yeah, it's a very small donation. It's worth it. I think it's
totally worth it.
Yeah. Sissy, just dropped the link here on YouTube for you guys. Check it out, because if nothing else, if you're starting from zero and you don't have the time to go and really deep dive into, is this a good brand? Is that a good brand? You can have a lot of trust in this list. Even when Jay and I would be doing our own research on, is this good? Or they, it seems like something's different. We've called and been like, we were just wondering, like about a sourcing thing, or what about this protein, or just asking questions. We were referred to their media department.
Right. I'm asking questions about the ingredients in your food, and they send us to the marketing department.
Right. That there.
That tells you that they're just trying to look good instead of be good.
Right.
Yeah. That was enough to be like, I'm not waiting on hold.
That was when Two Crazy Cat Ladies had 400 followers on Facebook. It wasn't like they were sending us to the media department.
Yeah, but now, even today, right? We've been in this industry for 20 years, the pet nutrition industry. We have seen so many really good-hearted brands that have come in to do the right thing, and they have created good quality foods. And I've personally watched a couple of them where they got to the age of like, I can't do this anymore. And they never set it up for or the kids didn't care about it. They didn't have anybody to give it over to. And the only option they had was, Mars Pet Care, that'll buy them out, or, something, and then they end up selling there. So it's not always is always like a deceptive thing. Some of them are those dollar signs. Everybody's got a price, they say, right? So some of them just do that, but then you have to keep up with this, because you can't feed the same food forever and expect it to always be exactly the same quality, right? I mean, hopefully for some, but
yeah, and that's such a good point. Who owns the company?
Right.
Is it Mars? Is it Nestle? Who owns it? Because
Mills,
when they care more about the bottom dollar and the marketing than they do about your pet, and that's another thing. But I mean, you two are the queens of, transitioning cats over. I love your guide. I've sent it out myself, the transitioning cat food. But this is my other little tip that I don't think we think about a lot, is how energetic cats are, and they can read your energy. So if you're going at them with a new food with the energy of like, oh, I hope you like this, they're gonna know.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is like me going up to, if you guys were over for dinner, I'm like, I made you a casserole. I hope you like it. I don't know. I mean, you would be like, I'm not sure about this. Like,
What did you
I don't know. I'm gonna be, but if I'm like, I made this amazing dinner. Oh my God, you're gonna love it. You would have a lot, like you're the alpha of the house. And so think about that with your cats.
Yep.
When you feed them, be like, this your food. You're gonna like it, you're gonna eat it. It changes things. Sometimes I think that in my head when I give my cats their new food. I'm like, this is their food. Eat it and like it. And they're like, aye.
Yep.
And then they need an alpha in the house. I mean, they're not like dogs in that way, but having that energy of you're gonna love this, then they trust you, because cats are not very trusting sometimes, because they always think you're gonna, they get different tastes and textures and things in the food, and they're always kind of like on edge, like, what are you gonna give? I don't know what's gonna be in here. And cats can become huge skeptics, and this is how we get picky kitties. But you don't be the skeptic, and then they won't be.
Yep.
That's my comments from the peanut gallery.
It's so true, because
That's
energy
beautiful.
means it matters so much. And I know we talk with a lot of, like, we call them woo-woos, but they're like some of our best friends, right? Like people that are like they
I'm
can
a woo-woo.
they
like
do
the chakras,
they
and the
do
Reikis
energy
and the
work
muscle
with
testing and that.
they do all this stuff, but it's so true. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times, and I've said this story I know a million times here, but so many times that I have gone to make the food, and I wake up, like, because I do it as soon as I get up in the morning, I'm making breakfast, right, for the cats. And when I get up, like, hopefully I'm in a good mood. I usually am a morning person, so usually I am, but sometimes I'm not. I did that stub your toe thing, and like something happened, or I got a bad email or a text, and you're just like bad energy. And then I'm making their food, and all of a sudden nobody eats, and I'm just like, God, the day just keeps getting worse, and blah 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 blah. But then at some point I'm like, that's why they didn't eat, because I was like so negative while I was making their food. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a good example, because they really are looking to you for that energetic reassurance that this is okay to eat, because it's not they're not out catching something. Their instincts, every instinct they have, is for them to catch their own food. And they have had to rely, as you guys talk about so much, entirely on us for our food. So we have to be confident in it.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I know. I can't believe an hour has gone by. I feel like
holy smokes, you two! This is like the fastest live I've ever done in my life, and I used to do a lot. Like, time flies when you're having fun and you're drinking and/or coughing. I think it was my basil leaf that got stuck in my throat. So, pardon that all. I mean, I'm my first time with you guys, and I cough up a storm and embarrass myself, but it's okay.
Not at all.
No, there's no such thing. There's no such thing on this.
We had a cat jump on our head. That's part of the process. That's why people love these things, is because they're live, they're real, they're raw, and that's what we bring.
That's it.
Live, real, and raw.
Okay, so what's one thing top of mind that you wish, or that you want every cat parent to take from this conversation? What's one thing you want them to remember? What's your
I mean, you got to be your cat's own best advocate. That would be my top thing. Just look past the marketing. If there's a prescription involved, double check the ingredients because there's usually nothing prescription about them. And you doing that is being your cat's best advocate. Because going back again, this is something you two say all the time. They don't have a choice. They can't go out and hunt unless they go outside in their outdoor kitties. They don't have a choice. They are relying their cellular health, their GI health, their kidney health is relying solely on what we put on their plate. Yep. And so because of that, be their advocate. That would be my advice, is to be their advocate. And I know so many of you are here today because you're trying to do that. And you don't know what you don't know until you know different. Yeah. But we busted through a whole lot of these myths today while we were having those cocktails. And let this be a foundation and a starting place for you to dig into what your cat's eating. Because if you've got a cat that's between 3 and 7, they're not developing those issues yet, you don't want to get to the point where you have to do something drastic as a last resort, because we've had years of health issues that have been building behind the scenes because we're not feeding our kitties a biologically appropriate diet. We're not here to kibble shame.
No, not at all. And everybody, I think everybody knows that follows us, at least, that we're definitely not kibble shaming, but yes, biologically appropriate is so important. And I'll give you a little bit of a teaser, Melissa, because we recently, we're preparing a really awesome presentation for Kansas City next month that we're going to be speaking at Dr. Ruth Roberts, and we get to meet you in person. Very excited about that. No, I'm joking. One of the things that we did in our research is we reached out to someone who works with these zoologists, and we got a massive amount of information on what the cats in the wild are eating, what they are required to eat, and what they are fed at the zoos, so that we could get some good science, some good facts, right, for this presentation. So
can you ask them to test their microbiomes too? I was just thinking about that today. Like, this is the things I think about, y'all. I was like, where can I find the microbiome breakdown of like the domestic cat's closest wild relative? Do we even know? I know you said 96% tiger.
Yep.
Right. But do we know like what the
closest wild
relative, like a smaller wild cat?
Probably the African wildcat.
I think it is the African wildcat.
I mean, I will track that. I will track that information.
Yeah,
we're gonna find that, because I'm like, dang, I need to know what's in that gut. I need to know.
Yes.
Oh my
It's going to be so fun. Oh my God, Melissa, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Biome here in the description.
You guys just wait, because
we're definitely going to do a part 2.
And I don't think we'll have to wait very long, because they are actively working on something really, really big. And we will have you back when that is live so that we can discuss it together, because we're very excited about what you guys are doing for the cat world specifically, because it's going to be a game changer for so many of us. So thank you.
You two are just my favorite in the whole world, in the whole kitty world. And thank you so much for having me on. I love you guys, and I love your products. I've been, I don't do anything that I don't believe in. I've been using your stuff on my kitties for years. So it's an honor to be here.
Thank
Melissa,
you. We love you.
I can't wait to hug your face off in Kansas City.
I know. It's a month away. All right. We love
Thank you so much.
We love you all for joining us. Thank you so much. And we will see you all very soon.
Bye,
guys.
Good night, guys.